Yes, please. It's episode 5, and I feel alive and ready to thrive. So in the previous episode, I got the opportunity to share a part of my own story, of my journey since childhood to now. And as I shared my experiences and stories with my friend Vanessa, I felt a strong sense of connection and optimism to continue to host these podcasts, as it feeds my passion for sharing stories and life experiences with others. But I can truly say that it felt so good to reflect on my own life story. I also felt myself remembering the good old times with a joyful nostalgia. And so I'm driven now more than ever to keep these conversations happening. So with that, let's get into it. In today's episode, we will be chatting to an adventurous and unstoppable duo. They are not just an ordinary married couple. They are globetrotters with a zest for life that knows no bounds, and having taken over 100 flights to countless destinations worldwide, their journeys are a testament to their relentless spirit and unquenchable thirst for adventure. Their story began as friends, but a life-changing event forged a bond stronger than ever. Through trauma and transformation, they emerged with an undeniable gees that inspires everyone they meet. They embody resilience and joy and are continuously exploring the world and each other with a newfound sense of purpose and love. So let's meet this extraordinary pair who redefine the meaning of living life to the fullest. They are the explorers of heart and soul. They are Tyrone and Amy. So thank you guys, and welcome to the Yussus podcast.
Thanks for having us, Jay. I'm excited to be here.
Excellent.
Thank you, sister. I'm glad I get to chat with you guys from Lisbon. Miss you. I wish I could be with you guys in the Netherlands right now, even though the weather's not that great right now. It's still such a nice time to be in Holland. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. And I miss you guys.
Yeah, we miss you too, but I'll tell you something. Your energy lurks here. It's here since you stayed with me for so many months, and it's here. And every time I look to the kitchen on that couch, I can see you. Even though you're not here, I can see you.
I feel the same.
Watching your YouTube clips, getting up, stretching, making a coffee, getting back down.
Got his routine.
Yeah. So it's good to hear your voice, and it's good to have internet connection for us to be able to connect through the distance of being in different places. This is one of the things I love about the internet. So it gives us this opportunity. So thank you guys. It's been a while. I've been wanting to get you on here for a while because Taza, you've been on a couple of the previous podcast episodes with me already. This is Amy's debut. So welcome, Amy.
Thank you.
And I wanted to get you guys both on because you've both been very important parts and reasons for the Yussus brand to go out there and be what it is today. And that's growing the community of South Africans living around the world so that we can bring ourselves to a point of understanding that it doesn't matter where you live, the Rainbow Nation is in your heart, it's in your blood. And when you connect with others and you hear the stories of them and you hear where they've been and their adventures, it just brings such a, I don't even know the word. There isn't a word. It's just a lack of feeling that comes into the heart. Even when we were watching some episodes of this Below Deck now, we were listening, you hear the South African accent and it's just like, oh, check it out. There's us.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love hearing South African accents.
Yeah, I really do enjoy listening. It's one of my favorite things to do while I'm traveling. Amy will tell you that
I was going to say.
I always listen to what all people are saying, and I like to hear the different accents and different languages. And not that often that you hear a South African. Sometimes, a lot of the times at airports, but when you do, it stands out, and you really do miss home.
We heard those guys in Prague at that market. I don't really remember what they said, but yeah, it was South Africans, and they pointed at us. We spoke to each other. We're like, oh, they're from South Africa, and they were like, hey, you guys South African.
Oh, it's so delicious. It's so nice. But I was speaking to somebody else the other day. I was recording a podcast with one of the South Africans that are now living in the Netherlands, and I've been saying it for the longest time on all the intros, but the South Africans really bring warmth And he just reiterated that to me. He said, I miss the warmth of South Africa. And it's not meaning the sun shines. I mean, we all miss that. But it's the actual warmth that the people bring. Just by when you speak and you hear that and you connect with it, and you can be, like you say, in Prague, anywhere in the world.
It's definitely a cultural thing. I think the European people are very, they're wary about doing that. You know, their history determines how they behave towards each other. And, you know, with us, we're just coming from a country that's, you know, we really do love, but it's not really working that well right now. And we find ourselves in a place where, you know, we're foreign. We don't know the language most of the time, but how do we get by? So we go back to our roots and we try and be kind and friendly and, you know, understanding and quite humorous. For me, I think it's quite a laugh most of the time. I think I often say to Amy, I wish there was a camera on us, following us around. They have a good laugh at us on our trip.
Well, especially you and Amy, because, I mean, you guys are quite worlds apart. I mean, you've grown up in different parts of life and different parts of South Africa in times, which we'll get into in a little bit. But it's delicious to understand that you guys have this connection. And I could just, as you were saying those words, imagine the two of you and imagine a camera. You should do that one day. Just have some camera following you around so you could check yourselves out. Because I'm sure it's a lot.
I do the vlogging. I do. It is quite funny though. Ty doesn't really like to be on camera though.
Yeah, Ty's a bit camera shy.
But he'd be so funny in some travel vlogs. So I've started.
Yeah, but sometimes she gets upset with me. Sometimes she gets upset with me because I don't realize she's videoing, and then I'll just go off on one of my tangents, or I'll just start ripping into a culture.
She did that to me the other day.
No, but I didn't. No, but I didn't use your voice.
She did that to me the other day. We were in Amsterdam and I was talking to her the next minute, but she does it so discreetly. Like her phone is just like moving around. And the next minute I'm like talking some garbage that I don't want anyone to know or hear or whatever. And I go, are you recording? She's like, yeah, don't worry. I'll put some music over it. I was like, delete the file. She's like, Tyrone does this. I do this to Tyrone all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it's quite an adventure. It really is quite an adventure. I really wish that more South Africans had the opportunity to do it, just to see the world a bit more.
It changes a perspective, you know, and it can get quite doom and gloom when you live in South Africa. And I think that's pretty much what the birth of Yussus was about, is coming to another place, seeing it from a different perspective, realizing all that you have inside of you, all the tools from all the sacrifices and hardships that you've dealt with in South Africa, and you fly out into the world and you see it all from a different perspective, but you never forget home, and you always carry that pride. Well, at least I do. I know it's like something in my blood. I just go, yeah, I'm South African, and I feel it and see it with everybody around me.
Yeah.
And it's definitely something you need.
I only got that feeling when I left South Africa.
Yeah.
And I was always telling people, no, I'm from South Africa. Oh, that's so interesting. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, are you white? Why are you? I didn't know there were white people in South Africa. Which is hilarious.
I love that. Exactly. But you know what, the other thing as well is I've noticed, and sometimes I'm traveling with other Europeans, and then we go somewhere, say to America, and we're standing at a counter and the American asks us, where are you from? And I would think that they would be like more interested in people from Amsterdam, yet they kind of shove that aside when they hear you from South Africa. It's like,
fascinating.
Ooh, really? Like their eyes start to glitter and glow, like you're a real person from South Africa.
Yeah, and that's when I started to appreciate where I was from and where I grew up, and the culture of people, and just seeing how different people are overseas made me appreciate South Africa so much more, and actually, be proud of it. Because when I was living in South Africa, I would call myself an Australian. No, I was born in Australia, which we'll get into. But then whenever I'm around the world, I say I'm from South Africa because of my accent. So
yeah, and because you pretty much lived there,
I feel it.
Yeah,
the pride.
Yeah, it's also Vanessa wasn't born in South Africa yet. Yeah. She said Johannesburg was the only home she knew, you know, for a large part of her life. Okay, well, then I think that's a great way to get into this. Well, let's chat to Tyrone and Amy and see where they were born, see the differences between the places that they grew up, where they grew up. Kind of interesting to see if it's at 6 degrees of separation, you know, that you're living right next door to the love of your life and you only meet him later on, you know.
Yeah.
So Tyza, where were you born and where did you grow up?
Okay. Well, I was born in Marymount Hospital in Kensington, Johannesburg. I grew up in Witchwood, Kensington. Witchwood and Betterview and Primrose and Kensington. I went to school. Went to first Assumption Convent, JP Prep, then JP High School for Boys. Went to the University of Johannesburg, was known as, what was it, Rand Afrikaans Universiteit.
Rauw.
Back in the day. Rauw. Yeah, and then I was ended up going overseas, playing a bit of cricket, came back to South Africa, and I got involved in teaching, education for 10 years. 5 years at Highlands North Boys School, another 5 years at JP High School for Boys. And then I continued to coach at JP High School for Boys for another 8 years while I was running a restaurant. Then I started a sports agency. And then I started coaching cricket full-time, traveling overseas to the Netherlands in the South African winter, and then spending my summers back in South Africa, building JP Quandam Cricket Club and coaching them, and just being involved as much as I could with cricket. And then...
That's lekker, that's lekker. So just to go back to your history, you're a JP boy at heart. Even when you left school, you still went back and taught there. You still ran the JP Quandam, which is associated with JP Old Boys, right? And your love for cricket and your passion for cricket. I mean, I remember days when we were growing up, Tyrone would ask me on a Sunday, Janine, please, come here, sister. Please say a prayer. South Africa's playing England. We need more wickets. And I'd be sitting there praying, dear Mary, please help my brother. He wants the cricket.
Yeah, we pray all the time, especially in rugby matches.
Such
World
a
Cup
passion.
finals and such, yes.
No, that's lekker. That's awesome. And growing up in Johannesburg in the East Rand of the city, and really just embracing all of the differences and nuances of being on the East as opposed to growing up in the North or growing up in the South, or West. But and I think you also still have a lot of mates, right, from growing up in those days and being in that community of JP boys. It was a very community-based brotherhood, you know, which was great.
Yeah, listen, it was a huge brotherhood, a massive part of my life. I really do miss it. Many Saturday mornings, especially in the May, June time every year, because that's normally when the rugby season was at full flow. I miss that in the mornings, you know, especially where I lived. I used to live overlooking the school grounds. So
on that infamous hill, Highland Road, hey?
Yeah, on Collard's Folly. That's what it used to be called, Collard's Folly. You know, when I was growing up there, the guys used to go fights up there. When I lived there was a parking lot for the hockey parking. So it was a sneaky little side road that used to go up to the house. And really, it was a magical time in my life when I think about what Johannesburg or Kensington was. You know, and you guys speak about, just to continue a little bit here, but you guys speak about, you know, how proud you are. And when you go back and, you know, and when you're away from South Africa, you're so proud. I had that for a long time. But I can honestly tell you that since 2020, and when I left South Africa in 2021, and since then I've gone back to South Africa, I think 3 times, each time for about a month. So I've had a good look at what's been going on, and it's been heartbreaking. It's really been heartbreaking, and I feel sorry for people that are there. I really pray to God that they found some sort of solution in this new election. And I really pray to God that they can find some sort of way to get rid of that anger and that aggression. Because I can tell you now, the best thing about being in Europe is that no matter where you are, there's no way you can even compare to Johannesburg when it comes to the aggression and tension. People driving on the roads, the fiery tempers. just things were going wrong and people needed outlets. And I was in Cyprus now, and the people are crazy there, no doubt. And
Yeah.
it's the first place that I've been that I can compare to Joburg. It's the first place I can be when I felt the energy in the air, and I was like, oof, these guys are not too stoked with each other yet.
Did it have some?
But every other place in Europe, they are way more chilled, way more relaxed.
Did Cyprus
So-
have a good feeling as well, like the good feeling that you get in Joburg, or was it just all the negative vibes?
Well,
that
I had a
you
good
felt?
feeling because you're on an island. It was a good feeling because you're on an island,
mean,
and it
you're
reminded me
right on
of
the beach.
Joburg. And also it reminded me of Joburg because you're driving on the left-hand side. But it was over 40 degrees. It was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was...
But Joburg also has a good feeling. Joburg has a good feeling. Okay, but it's
Joburg had an amazing feeling. Excuse me. I don't feel that when I go back there.
no,
I
but
don't see that. Everything around me just looks like it's getting worse. And I'm sorry to be the doom and gloom, but I just hope that it's only can go up from now. It can only go up from here.
yeah, it has to. In my heart and my hope of things, I really do hope that it does turn itself around because it like I say, it has this paradox. It's like the city of gold, but it's also the city of crime and hate and fear and anxiety and poverty. And when I drive around there feeling a very like pricked in my mind about the fact and my heart that people are staring at me at the corner robot and they're starving for food or opportunity or something. And all I can think of is like, I want to help you, but I don't know if you're going to rob me,
Yeah.
you know? And it's like,
Yeah.
I hate that feeling. It's so tense. It's so insane, but I do get what you're saying. Where did you grow up,
I get
babe? Hey?
Sorry, I just think to myself when I see those people, like, I'll help you, but why is the government not helping you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Why is
especially-
this clown driving a nice car and flying in a jet and having fancy clothes? Why is he not helping you?
You know, it's such injustice.
Especially when you go overseas and you see that these people are taken care of.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, the government actually can help people.
And cares.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
It's a
that there
shock,
was,
eh?
like free medical aid. You know,
It's a shock.
And, like,
You're almost scared to take the
good.
help. You're almost scared to take the help.
Yeah, it's amazing. But I was gonna say, I said this is high one day, and I always thought about this, that Joburg has complete opposites. It's like bipolar. It's got like the amazing people and the amazing weather, and it's just an amazing vibe being around family and friends and having a braai and
It's also got the most trees. Did you know that?
yeah, and it's just like springtime
man-made
in
forest.
Joburg. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then you've got this really dark side
Yeah.
to Joburg as well, which is like, how is this happening?
Yeah.
You know, how are people still like, they're desensitized? They're like, oh, it happens.
Yeah, but you have to become like that if you think about your mind and the coping mechanism.
Yeah, I guess so.
And I feel like I've only realized that now, being on the side and being away from it, that I can
Yes.
see how
Yeah.
I am programmed to be on alert and to be
Yeah.
ready for anything. It's in me. So yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so now I wanna swing back to Amy and find out from you, where were you born, and
Okay.
what was your childhood like coming up? Because now we're talking about Tyrone growing up in the 80s and 90s. Amy was born in the mid 90s.
Yeah. 95.
And I'm a raised Maronite Catholic, and Amy's a raised Jewish person.
Thanks,
Talking
Bob.
about paradoxes. Let's go.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. That's it, paradox.
Bipolar you
Okay.
used.
Yeah,
It's the
it's
same.
still though gives me bipolar.
Yeah.
That city sometimes. Okay, so I was born in Paddington in Sydney, Australia.
Cool.
My story is quite interesting because my parents did the opposite of what a lot of people did. Firstly, they did what everyone was doing, which I think it was 1980. I don't remember. In the 80s.
Late 80s, early 90s, like 88, 89.
Yeah, they moved to Australia
Mm-hmm.
with a lot of their friends as well. So there was a South African community there. There was an opportunity for people to come from South Africa to Australia. A lot of people were flocking over there. So they
Where in Australia did they go?
in Sydney.
Sydney, okay.
Yeah, and then so after like I think maybe 9 years, then my mom's family joined them from Zimbabwe.
Okay.
That's where she was born, and yeah, then they just joined in Sydney, and yeah, my grandparents' story is insane. And my mom's sister and brother also moved to Sydney, and then in 2000, my dad got a business opportunity, and he would take any opportunity to go back to South Africa because he is a very proud South African man. Loves the culture, loves the weather, loves the people. Hated the people in Australia. Said they were rude.
Loves Joburg.
Loves Joburg. Always
Proper Joburg boy.
I love his jokes about best thing about Qantas that it brings him home. That's his joke. And then it only rains once a year, and it lasts for 12 months.
That's Sydney. That's Sydney. It rains.
Like
Wow. But I tell you about
just
that.
as much as London.
Sounds like we could use that for Holland, actually, guys.
Yeah.
It only rains once a year, but for 12 months.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so he took the opportunity, and my mom's family were like, "Oh, we just got you." So their plan was actually to just go to South Africa for 2 years and establish this business of theirs, and then go back to Australia. But then we stayed.
So you were born there, and when you were what, 5?
Yeah.
5 or 6, you came back.
I was 4 years old.
Okay, cool.
So I just finished like nursery school, went straight to King David Linksfield.
Yes, of course.
And yeah, me and my brother were excited to go to South Africa, and we actually had the option to stay behind while they went, but then we were like, "No, we'll come with you." And then
Nice. You're ready for the adventure
whole
even
new
there.
life, yeah.
Dora the Explorer.
But then it was a bit of a nightmare from there. Kept progressing. I mean, it was amazing childhood with my parents.
Where did you grow up? Which part of Joburg? Bedfordview as well.
Yeah,
See, so I'm talking
St.
about
Andrews.
this. So you guys were around the corner from one another.
Yeah, we were. Listen, yeah, definitely.
I think Tyrone was leaving school when you were getting into
She
high
was a kid.
school.
Man.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
She was a kid.
She was born when I was matriculated.
yeah.
Yeah, I was going to high school when she was born.
Yeah. No, but yeah, so when my brother was there, he got bullied in grade 3 for being different, Australian, you know how people are just at a young age. So I saw that happening, and then I started to get bullied from grade 3 as well, and then that just progressed
Kids can be mean, eh?
along till grade 10 when I left King David. So it was hard, but I always wanted to stay. I had this like attachment to the school that I didn't want to leave.
Yeah, your
and
culture,
I loved
Cup.
the school. Yeah, my culture, of course. And I only knew this culture. And I just thought that's how everybody is. And then grade 10, listen, I loved the school and I loved all the opportunities, and I got to sing in like school assemblies and in plays and things like that. But where I really felt that I thrived is after grade 10, I went to Redham House, Bedfordview.
Okay.
So that's when
You know what the crazy thing is?
Say again?
You know what the crazy thing is? Sorry, Bob. The crazy thing is that where Redham is, I used to play golf there, and I rode off my car on that road where Redham was built.
Exactly.
Madness.
Before Redham was built.
Redham wasn't there yet, and you wrote to.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying about fate and destiny, guys?
Yeah. And then, so I had the option to either move to Eden or to Redham. And then I went to Eden, and they were like, "No, there's no rules. You can have your hair down." And I was like, all the rebels.
It was a cool college.
And then I'm like, nah, this is not going to look good for me. So I did the test, and I got into Redham.
Grade 10 is what?
Grade school.
Standard
8.
Yeah.
See my Gen X coming in.
And then I got to do subjects like dancing and art and drama and music. And
Awesome.
But the best part about being in Redham is that I was exposed to South Africa's Rainbow Nation that I didn't really know was so diverse.
Yeah, because you were not.
Because I really only saw like blacks and whites and coloreds, really.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize there were Portuguese people, there were a lot of Asian, Indian people.
Yeah.
And all these people were my age. And I was like, wait, I actually have things in common with these guys.
Nice.
But I definitely felt out of my shell as like a Jew, and there were like 10 other Jews in our grade. But it was amazing to be exposed
Nice.
to a different culture within South Africa.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I got to experience a lot of different. Like it was like
You found out there were Lebanese and Dutch
it
people as
felt
well,
like,
hey?
Yeah, that as well. It felt like I was traveling the world by meeting all these different people from all these different countries.
See, that's
You know,
that's
like
what I love about South
Brazil,
Africa.
Angola, Mozambique.
Yeah, yeah. You get
Yeah,
exposed to so
London.
many different cultures within one country, and it's
Yeah.
so amazing. Was within Johannesburg,
Yeah,
you know, which is wonderful because then you also feel like you've traveled.
yeah. So it felt like a culture shock, but I really enjoyed
That
those
culture
2 years
shock.
that I was there, and I wish I'd moved there sooner, for sure. And then after that, I was planning to move to Australia after matric because we always grew up thinking that Australia was this utopia because my mother's family was there, and she always complained that she wanted to go back because her family was there.
Yeah, of
So
course.
we were always thinking, oh no, Australia's the best place to be. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
So I was planning to go there, but then I had a boyfriend at the time, so I wanted to stay. So I went to AFTA
Mm-hmm.
for a year. I didn't finish. Do you know AFTA?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was fun. And then I don't know. I got criticized by one of the teachers. They called me fat
Oh wow.
and like just commented on my outfit.
And then she went to Copa, and that's how I met her.
Okay, so this
Sorry.
is okay. You just quickly fast forward
Like,
into that
can I
story.
just wait? Can you hold
Confused the
on?
man in this conversation. Yeah, I'm still
Are
listening,
you
all
just
glued.
impatient or what?
It's like you push the fast forward button. Remember?
He's like, okay, get to the point. No, hold on. No, so after I was like, no, I actually want to make money because I'm actually like sick of asking my dad for money. I hate this. I want to be independent, do what I want kind of thing. So I went and got a tutoring job and drove to all these different kids' houses and helped them with homework and Afrikaans and maths. And I was not studious at all. And I was like, oh my goodness, what am I doing?
Yeah.
But my gran, who's 90 now, she is academic. So I feel like I have it in me.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
her, and I get her advice and she's just amazing. And then I worked for a vacuum cleaner Kirby company for a little bit, and then I worked in the Visa.
She was that lady from Verymark.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, she tried
On
to
a
sell me
Saturday.
that.
Tried to sell it to
She
Ty
tried
as
to sell me.
well.
No.
Literally, I did the whole thing.
Oh my
I
god.
laughed it off.
I
It's
did
amazing.
the whole thing.
Oh my
The whole
god.
presentation.
I told her, like, how can you expect me to believe this shit? How can you expect me to go through with this? No chance.
I think mommy wanted one of those Thai Kirby vacuum
they were
cleaner.
good,
they were
though.
they were
They're-
popular.
they're
They were
really
hot.
Good.
Hot on the trot.
And then I went to Copa because my mom actually showed me Copa, and I didn't actually know that the school existed. And it was all music, and we sang every week, and it was just like a different vibe because it was all musicians. After there's a lot of like actors, and it felt like it was very racist, backwards racist.
Okay.
Hard to say that. Don't want to get cancelled or anything, but
Man, come on. This is not about cancel culture
It felt
here.
like I was the odd one out there as well because it was predominantly black people for sure.
Sorry, I can't hear you. What did you say?
I don't want to say it again. So Copa was also very diverse, and it was very nice to be in Bedfordview as well. It was so close, Langeman Drive.
Yeah. I'm sure Courtney went there, Ty.
Yeah.
Do you know
She
Courtney?
think so,
did it for
yeah.
her birds, I think.
Yeah.
But Birdie went there. Birdie went there when it first started.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And then
He was a sound engineer. He did his sound engineer's, I think, diploma.
All right, lekker.
Yeah. So
And then you guys started to obviously meet
So then I got
through
a
the circles because
boyfriend.
Tyrone, wait, did you have, I'm just trying to connect timelines here. Was this at the same time you had one for one, or was it
So
after?
it was literally the year after he left. I was hanging out at
The
one.
year
for
I
one.
left. The year I left.
Yeah.
we
The
went
year
to
you
that,
sold
yeah.
it.
But we were chilling
Yeah.
there, and we went there all the time, and I'm like, this place is so cool. Oh my goodness, the stage, the lights, the art all around. Meanwhile, it was his whole
You guys
thing.
just
It was
kept crossing
crazy.
shoulders and not even knowing
then,
it.
Yeah, so I was with this guy for quite a long time, about 6 years. Ty was the landlord to my ex.
Oh, wow.
He owned the house, and he was also living in the house. Obviously, nothing happened and everything, but then, and I wanted to get some green.
The guy went to Kimberley.
Yeah, he left
To Kimberley,
that's where
to
it's
the
from.
big hole.
Yeah,
It's
where he was
it's
from.
actually so beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's beautiful. But
diamond
if
area, it's so
anybody knows it, they know it's the big hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the biggest man-made hole in the world.
So Afrikaans. It's
Yeah.
great. Actually,
Literally the biggest man-made hole in the world.
In Kimberley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
That's the first street lights.
So you came to visit Ty, you got some stuff from him, you guys
Yeah.
connected
yeah, exactly.
through the channels of being friends
we were
and
always friends, and then we got together for a bit, and then we were friends again, and then he went to
I would go overseas. She would go overseas.
Netherlands, Yeah.
You went to Israel.
Yeah, I went to Israel as well. Actually forgot about that for like 6 months.
Then I went to the Netherlands again.
I actually went to Israel to prepare myself to go to Australia, because going to Australia was always the goal for me.
yeah.
Even though I was there, and then I went to Copa, then I got a boyfriend, and I was kept like holding back. And then,
And you were at the same time in Den Haag, Tyrone, in the crickets, sorting out coaching.
Yeah, my first year. Yeah, Amy and I were together, and then I went over for my first time, and it was silly of us to say we were going to, stay together. She was doing her thing, I was doing my thing, and then we got back, and then 10 days after I got back was what happened at the house.
Yeah.
And then, then after that, everything changed. Then she went overseas, she went to Australia.
No, but I didn't go overseas straight away. So
6 months later, I think, 6 months later.
no, it was a year later. Because
Was it that long later?
it
Yeah,
was
because you still
November
wanted to
of the
do
next
something.
year.
Yeah.
I didn't want to
remember.
go anywhere before I was physically healed and worked on my emotional well-being. Because, listen, I'll admit it, I went to a Kiso clinic. Okay, it's good for mental health.
Yeah.
And for trying medication, and they want to monitor you when you try new medication, and then you go through meditations and mindfulness.
This is after what happened at the house.
No, this was before.
Before,
This
okay.
was like 2 years before.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I've been on medication since I was 15. So, yeah, always trial and error in
Yeah,
a way.
yeah.
These doctors, it's ridiculous. I'm trying to get off.
I know sometimes I
off it
feel
now.
like they use us as guinea
No,
pigs,
it's
but
ridiculous. But great experience, because learned so much and got so many tools on what's good for you and where
met a great
anger
friend.
comes from. Met a great friend.
Yes.
Who was actually my bridesmaid, which was
amazing
amazing.
woman.
Yeah, and then went to Israel after that to prepare myself to be alone, because I'd never actually been alone before. Hated it there because I was.
Did you
still
go to
with
the
my-
kibbutz?
No,
Okay.
we traveled around Israel,
Okay.
and I actually worked as an intern
Okay.
at a Daniela Lehavi bag and shoe leather
Wow. Okay.
handmade things, fashionable.
Cool.
Factory, and I was working there in production design and quality. So that was like internship in Israel, when they put you up in a place with 9 other people, all also doing internships, but then we all travel around Israel in between, right? So, but the only thing I had in common with everyone there was that we were all Jewish, because there were people from America, Canada, Argentinians were amazing.
Nice.
And yeah, so that was also an interesting experience, because I was also with my boyfriend at the time,
Okay.
and that was a long distance thing. But we had always been doing long distance because he was in Kimberley. So
Okay.
yeah, so it was tough But it was a great experience, and I learned a lot about being on my own. So I was like, okay, cool, ready for Australia. Didn't go yet, but then after the robbery, I was there fixing my physical ailments that happened and just emotional battles.
I'd like to just put a bit of a preface there to this scenario, is that this is pretty much, like Tyrone said, where everything changed.
Yeah.
And you went to go and visit Tyrone one night. He was house sitting at my house, and 5 armed men came in, and they really did a number on you and Ty with the attempts to take everything, which they did. And you guys were the most bravest, amazing, beautiful souls that I could have ever been so lucky to have crossed my path in life and be part of my life. And at the time, this is something I really was in the crux of doing with Yussus, and I became so pissed off with South Africa, which I can only imagine you guys too. But it really was then where this all turned to say, listen, people are being pushed out of the country, because it was pretty much after this 5-hour robbery that you guys were just like done. Like disappointed, I think you said to me the other day.
I was so disappointed. I was saying, Joburg broke my heart, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I was shattered. I was so disappointed. I was just sad about the fact that it happened. I was more angry. But then, after that, I met another guy, and he completely helped me get through it, actually, because we went out a lot, and I was scared to go out, and I was scared to drive, and I was scared to do risky things. And then I took up rock climbing, and I was exercising a lot.
And
it's
just amazing, Amy.
Motorbike for the first time.
I just want to say well done, because literally you're sitting speaking about it after so many years, and it's like you have no idea. For people that have never been through that, when we look at you and we think about what you and Ty went through, and to see how you both have recovered and how you both have still got chutzpah inside of your hearts and gees, I just want to say well done, guys, because if you made it through that, nothing can touch you. Nothing. So
exactly. And then my aunt came to visit from Australia, and she's like, come already, what are you doing? Like, come stay with me, like, it'll be amazing. And I'm like, but what will I do there? So then I went and I worked out how much money I'd be making, because I had an Australian passport. So then I went in November of 2019.
So let me just interject there before you left. You left to Australia 2019 November. Taza, from your time after that till November 2019, what was your process?
Oh, wow. Well, I moved out of home, and I moved back in with mom and dad.
Yes. You took Merle with you, Merlin.
I took Merle with me, and we all lived with mom and dad, and it was an incredible 2 years. Year and a half, I would say, about a year and a half, almost 2 years. But I gave everything to cricket. I just got lost into cricket. I wanted to be the best coach in the world. I wanted to go to a World Cup. You know, we had won the South African champs at Jepiquan, and we wanted to win them again. 4, 5, I think maybe 6 of my cricketers were going overseas on a regular occasion. You know, 2 or 3 of them, I think even 4 of them were all on contracts to become professional cricketers, you know. So I just got lost in cricket. I was just, you know, I don't know, I just got lucky to spend so much time with dad and with mom. And, I was preparing myself to go back overseas to Holland. I went back overseas to Holland, and a really successful season in Holland. And it was just, like, I was pushing myself physically, but completely driven by the hunger to win, which I was convinced was for the better of the team always. But when I look back, I could definitely see it was a lot of it ego driven. So as much as I did always put the team first, it was, you know, when they won, I looked great, and a lot of it was ego. So,
but also a release, I think, for you, for all the anger you were holding in from what had just happened to you in Ames, you know.
Yeah, but also I think I just felt unjustified. I was trying to get my own justification, you know. And in South Africa, the race is a big thing. And, you know, I when I went back to South Africa, I promised that it wouldn't. You know, I'm a God-fearing person. I'm a big fan of Jesus, and I'm a big fan of loving everybody. And, you know, when I went back to South Africa, I worked at a township, a school that was predominantly with black boys. And I gave my heart and soul to them. I learned their culture. I learned everything about them. Fell in love with a lot of those boys, and I helped them with a lot of their lives. And they helped me with my life. And then I went over to Jeppy, and I did that even tenfold. So when that happened to me, I wanted Jeppy boys, Jeppy High School for boys. I did that even tenfold. Because now it was guys that were walking a mile. And now it wasn't just black boys. It was boys of all cultures and all colors and all creeds. And, you know, when that happened to me, I thought, well, hang on now, you know, when I'm coaching now and I'm achieving all this success, like, where's my reward now? Why am I not getting rewarded? Like, like I didn't choose my skin color. So there was a lot of anger, and I feel bad because I was always talking to Dad about it, and I would kind of almost take it out on him for like choosing to stay in South Africa, for not choosing to go to America when he had a chance, or not choosing to leave South Africa because he had the financial wealth, but completely being selfish in a way, not thinking of how family is so important and was always so important to our father and us.
Yeah.
And how he would never have left South Africa, never, ever, ever in our wildest dreams would he have left. Yeah. And you know, I just felt like until his passing, I was driven by too much ego, which was anger and pride based.
Yeah, but obviously from this traumatic event that had happened to you guys in a very sacred space, your home, at 8 o'clock in the evening, you know, so it's like you really were pushed, and that's how you expressed it. And then Amy expressed it in a different way, where she spoke about it more, and she kind of worked through the therapy of it and mental states, and then found herself after healing moving to Australia, finally moving out because she felt so unwelcome in a way.
Yeah.
If I'm putting words in your mouth.
Well, that's the biggest. You've kind of described mine as well, because, you know, even though I didn't want to be there after Dad passed away, I didn't want to be there after all that evil that happened during COVID, and all that brainwashing and devil work. I just wanted to leave. So, but when I left and I was in the Netherlands and I've been in Spain and I've been in Portugal and the company I work for now, and the appreciation that people have for me and the love they have for me because I'm South African and because I'm a white South African and because my name is Tyrone and I'm a white South African from Johannesburg, and they love me and they love the work I do and they respect the work I do. And I'm not saying that in South Africa I was never appreciated for the work I did and they never loved me, but they made it very clear that there was a ceiling. They made it very clear that it would be a minor miracle for me to go and achieve my dreams there purely because of the color of my skin. Yeah. Purely. So that was again heartbreaking.
Almost feels like a little bit of a reverse apartheid that was happening, you know, and the suppressed became the suppressors.
The thing is, I don't even like that word because it glorifies their actions.
Yeah, true that.
And there's no need to glorify anybody's actions that are evil.
Yeah, listen, I must say I'm really grateful for you to share what you've shared so far about your experience, because, you know, I think it's important with these podcasts as well, just bringing it back to the fact that I've heard a lot of stories now. And in these stories that I've heard, it's like there's been so many different reasons why people left South Africa. And I think your story is one of the ones that have probably gripped a lot of the people that have left South Africa. For me, example, it was two things. It was your event, because then I started running around with a gun, which really made me so unnerved and unraveled.
I had a panic button and pepper spray on my keys.
But to live in that, and then to think to yourself, am I going to be having to use this? Do I have to shoot somebody to save my life?
That I always stayed away from.
It was really awful, you know. So your event ricocheted a lot of people's lives, and the way that we felt about the country. But also after my dad passed, you know, I was so grateful in a way that things had happened the way they had happened, because it did force Tyrone and I to go back and live at home with my mom and my dad. It kind of felt like we got blessed with 2 more years with him. And, you know, obviously also with my mom now. And we've brought her over to be with us in Holland, and you guys come and visit and all of that. But I do also believe that whatever happened to you guys, even though you may have been unwelcome and pushed out of the country, you've definitely taken everything that you guys have and you are making it out there. And because you are South African and because of what you've gone through, you carry gold. You carry gold in your hearts.
Thank you.
It's a
Yeah.
pleasure.
No, it's hectic for sure. The lives that we've lived. Yeah. Well, I'll.
And you guys met each other, guys. Let's just be
Yeah, we
honest.
did.
Let's just bring it back forward.
No,
Let's
it's
fast forward
amazing.
like Tyrone did. You married today.
Yeah.
And you live a European life, and you're both independent entrepreneurs, really, in your own rights, because you've got the means in the house to say when and how you want to work within the framework. You're not a 9-to-5 job, office, collar, bullshit.
Not gonna
So thank
happen.
God for that. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to swing it back now. So Ty, you stayed in the country, and Amy, you left.
I did leave, and then again went to go study music. So actually, during this whole time, I actually forgot to mention I was studying interior design, and I was doing an interior design diploma that whole time, and I was doing it online, and it was supposed to take 6 months, but it took about 3 years because I didn't touch it when I was in Israel.
Okay.
And then I finished, and then I was like, okay, cool, I'm finished. Now I'm going to go to Australia because I got the interior design. And then I looked at another interior design school because I got a diploma, and they say you need a degree to work in whatever. I'm like, okay, do I really want to do this? No. Okay, let me go see the school that my mom mentioned that she went and passed whenever she visits Sydney. It's called AIM,
Okay.
Australian Institute of Music. And I had actually applied a few times, like seeing if I would get in. And I had before, and then I went and I checked it out, and they were like, well, why don't you just come audition and see? And then, planned the audition, and I had this option of whether to do it or not. And I'm like, might as well, like, be around musicians, you know, live a kind of student life, even though I was a little bit older.
Let go of the stress and the tension of running around Joburg.
Yeah, that as well. And then also, I didn't expect to make many friends working. I expected more from studying and being around, you know, like-minded people.
And did you and Tyrone stay in contact?
Always.
Yeah, we did. There was a few months after your guy's dad that Ty didn't chat to me as much, but I don't think he was speaking to many people.
He didn't chat to anyone
at that time.
My phone was blowing up.
But I was actually more in contact with Janine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because after the robbery, we became very close as well.
Yeah.
Which was amazing.
Yeah, because I must be honest with you, it happened in my home, and I felt so responsible for the way this all happened for so long. And I really thought I can't offer you guys anything except for love from my heart, and give you the appreciation and look at you, brave souls, and just be like, wow, look at you. Just keep reminding you of your beautiful lights, you know, that you made it through. You weren't a statistic, and we're very lucky and blessed for that. And I'm very grateful for everything that has come out of it, you know. And
did you say we're not a statistic?
You were not a statistic, being, you know, obviously killed in the.
But I was a statistic as a woman.
Oh yes, but I'm saying in South African statistics, you wouldn't have made it out alive.
Yeah,
it happens to so many families that it's.
No,
that was the one thing we all really just took a deep breath and said, "Thank God you guys are alive," you know, because it could have turned out a different way. So. God was watching, God was protecting, and God has a plan, always.
Yeah.
And so you guys kept in contact, and then obviously when my father passed, it was very hard for Ty because I think he had also bottled up a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the whole world was quiet. It was COVID, obviously. When I moved to Australia the next year, we were there at AIM for a month, and then COVID. Everything's online. I was like, okay, shit, now I've applied. I'm in the school now. Let me commit it and see how it goes. Then I did it online, and I didn't stop doing it online until the last year. We got to go to campus.
When did you came back
amazing.
to South Africa 2021?
Yeah, for my brother's wedding.
When was that? What month? August, September.
The
September.
19th of
August, August,
September.
September.
So I had to get the vaccine to travel. It was very early days, so July of that year. And yeah, went to South Africa. I was told Ty that I was going. But I said, no, come after the wedding. If I said that, did I say that? Because I was just going to be really busy. I just said I can't see you until after the wedding.
Okay,
Because
cool.
I was a bridesmaid.
And you'd come specifically only from Australia for a few weeks,
Yeah,
months.
yeah.
What was it?
So I was just like really focused on what was going on with all that. There were so many events. It was a big Jewish wedding. It was amazing. Also during COVID, so a lot of our overseas family and their overseas family couldn't come, and it was,
What a time.
sweet in that way. And then me and Ty met up, and then started working out together.
Training, you mean?
Yeah, training. Yeah, at your house.
Because I think also by this stage, Ty, you also went into a complete inward turn, an inward spiral.
He was really into gymming and
you just
working
totally.
out.
But I think it was Ty's friend, wasn't it, Tomo?
Yeah.
That brought
Yeah.
you into the space of just working on your body, getting back to basics, getting into the body again to feel yourself, to hold yourself.
Yeah, put yourself under physical stress, because the more physical stress you put yourself under, the quieter your mind goes afterwards, because your body's now relaxing.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was a great something I give. I owe Tomo, and I owe some of the guys like Ari and Gert and some of the guys that helped me through that. I owe them everything. But it's something that I can give anybody advice that in any time of your life, if you just work on yourself physically, work on yourself mentally, and the spiritual will always come, because that's just who you are. Just something to quieten the mind. And I hadn't seen Amy for long. She wanted to train, and it was just nice that we could get to train and see each other again.
Yeah.
Amazing, guys.
And there was
Amazing.
always also going back to your house as well. That was the first time going back there.
That must have been an experience.
That was interesting for me for sure. Yeah, it was hectic, but then I got used to it. I always had an amazing vibe, and I felt that you cleared the energy and all the work that you put into it, and I always felt inspired in that house.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
magical space, and that's why I was so also.
Because I love the house, but
Yeah.
I should have just been hanging out with you because it was your house. So I was like, look at all these inspirational things and the crystals.
Oh yeah, by that stage I had
Loved
all
it.
these things up, but that's what disappointed me
Yes.
so much is I put so much energy in. Like I really felt like I had put
Love
my
that
little
house.
protective bubble over it.
Yeah.
And then to hear that this had happened, but I also realized that God is the Almighty. And as much as we want to question it, we'll never understand it in a mental and human capacity. Everything is happening. Nothing is by chance. Everything happens the way it should. And in hindsight, you will see that. But while you're going through it, it's not always clear.
No.
And I think ultimately, the idea there was to just always bring a feeling of inspiration into people's lives. And when I saw this happen, I was just so disheartened that the fact that we live in a world that has this going on, it was truly so heartbreaking.
When I was there, I felt so protected as well when I went back because of all the the electric fencing, so high.
We had always had security. We had always had
Yeah.
security, but in this instance, after this had happened, I mean, I had the space for 14 years with
I felt
nothing,
safe there, yeah.
So I just obviously for my own mental state, because I was sleeping with a gun under my pillow, and a panic button sort of glued to my thumb in case,
Yeah.
because I didn't want to wake up to anything. It was awful. But the thing is, what I'm trying to explain too is in this all is that as much as there's all this turmoil and this darkness, it's that paradox where there's also the blessings that come out of it.
Yes.
And I think if you and Ty can actually just give us a little bit of a chat now about where you guys went forward from this. So you kind of hooked up in 2021, back training together.
So I was stuck in South Africa after the wedding. So I was paying rent in Australia.
because of the COVID lockdowns.
Exactly. So couldn't go back to Australia for a while. Had to get my aunt to move all my stuff out into a storage unit, and then only could go back in January because I really wanted to finish my degree. I'm like, no, I'm going to get this degree. And then me and Ty did long distance for a year.
And how did that work out, guys? Because by that time, Ty, you returned back to me with me.
4 months till we saw each other again.
Yeah. Because it was May
Yeah,
2021, me and you came back to South Africa. We spent 10 months, well, I spent 10 months in South Africa after Dad passed from September 2020 to May 2021.
Yeah, then we went back to the Netherlands
Yeah.
for 4 or 5 months. Then I went back in September and I stayed there till January.
Yes.
Then January, I went to Netherlands end of Jan. I was in the Netherlands for 6 weeks and then I went on the road with this European Cricket Network. And at first I did umpiring and I worked with them for 8 weeks in a row. From the end of Feb till the beginning of May.
I must say, you were the
And
most
then-
entertaining umpire ever.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
Well,
just
I
because you're
tried
my
to-
brother.
Fun. Also, like talking to Vinny on the thing and
Yeah.
making fun of Ty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
good
he was,
fun. I had a good laugh.
Giving me hearts and waving to me and jumping up and down. He'd always like give me a signal that like, hey, babes, how's
Well,
it going?
Well, you know, at the end of the day, any of the guys that know me and the cricketers that know me, they know that I was an umpire's living nightmare when I played cricket. When I used to arrive, the umpires would cringe. They hated.
That's amazing, actually.
Sorry, I was saying that, yeah, when I used to arrive, the umpires used to cringe. And now I'm umpiring. So I just took it as a good opportunity. It was good cash. And I needed to save up money because I wanted to go see Amy in Thailand. We had already decided we were going to see each other in Thailand. It was going to be when we were going to meet again, 4.5 months after we had seen each other.
But I'll just want to interject one thing because I talk about this Tyrone's image sitting here on the couch because he spent this time from May 2021 till September with me. And I remember every day we were kind of like sort of talking about how he wanted to find this job where he could just be like free to roam, travel, but still be involved in the cricket. And he kind of manifested that with his words and his prayers every day and the conversations we had. So absolutely amazing to see that from sitting on a couch or really struggling to find some kind of job where he could be happy in the cricket space, you found this job where you get to travel around Europe and work 2 weeks on, work 2 weeks off. I mean, stay 2 weeks off and kind of just get to see a fresh perspective and different train stations and different airports and hey?
Yeah, now I don't have to umpire as well. Now
You don't have to umpire.
Now I'm the tournament referee, so now I'm in charge of the tournament when it comes to rules and regulations and how it's run and make sure it's fair.
Perfect
So
position.
now all the things that I think of in this world, like all the things in South Africa that were completely unjust and all the things that I even see in European cricket that are completely unjust. When I'm having a tournament and I'm in charge of the rules and regulations and how it's run, I can make sure with my whole heart that it's as just and as fair as it possibly can be.
For everyone.
So even though it's 2 weeks of really difficult work, I feel like I am contributing to something positive.
Yeah, that's amazing. So Amy
And
went
get to travel and see.
So Amy went to Australia, you went to the Netherlands, and you both had planned to meet up in Thailand.
Yes.
Thailand,
I
saw each
didn't,
other for 3 weeks.
I didn't realize how far it was for him though, because it wasn't a bad flight for me, but it was like across the world from Europe. to
Yeah.
Thailand. So, yeah, that was exciting. I knew what was coming. He knew that I knew what was coming. Terrible secret keeper. No secret at all. No, actually there was until the day of, and like, oh, we're taking a boat ride. Okay, cool. I know it's gonna happen. Nice. Let me put on my best dress for this. Yeah, no, it was an amazing time. We were there for 3 weeks. We went to all the islands. Correct me if I'm wrong, Koh Phi Phi first. No, Phuket first, then Koh Phi Phi, then...
But Tyrone had been there
Yang.
previously, so Tyrone knew already what a beautiful place it was, right, Ty?
Yeah, so he knew all the great places, and then,
Yeah.
but he went with friends. He never went with...
After he sold 1-for-1.
Yeah, exactly.
I went with
Had
Hobbsy
the
and with
greatest
Terence.
single experience in Thailand, I think, with his friends.
And then he brought back his future wife there and proposed to her.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, and we'll live there one day.
Yeah, it was great. It was such a nice
That place is the best place on earth. I love
Food
love
I
that
don't
place.
recommend, but just the vibe of the place is amazing. And we were there in May. It was quiet, and it was just after COVID when we could kind of travel, and we had to use our vaccination certificate to travel and had to have insurance and all that. So still strict. So now I'm sure it's buzzing. Love to go again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we left the day that marijuana became legal.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we left the 6th of June, and that was the day it became legal, 6th of June, 2022.
Wow.
Not that it stopped us while we were there, but yeah.
That's a very special date, hey?
Yeah.
6th of June. But
6th of June, 2022 was the day I left as well. The day I flew out of there.
yeah.
But
Yeah, carry on.
then we came back. She went back to Australia. I went back to Portugal. I then coached the Portuguese national cricket team. And I went to the World Cup qualifiers where we ended up finishing second out of like 10 teams behind Denmark. It was Denmark, Portugal, Belgium, Spain, and then a whole bunch of other teams. But did that for a while and then back on the road because I needed more cash because I was going to go to Australia to visit Amy. And then I made some more cash, did some commentary for ECN in Germany, went to Australia for 6 weeks and found out from halfway through August to the end of September in Sydney, it rains 85% of the time.
85% of the time in Sydney, eh?
Oh, God. It doesn't stop raining at that time. It's supposed to be spring. What? They're having a laugh. Just rains, man.
Yeah, it's really depressing. Like,
it just rains and rains.
It was tough. It was tough there, actually.
Yeah, that time it was tough, but this was great. We got to go see the Springboks play at the new stadium.
But let's also just interject there. You guys had a very, very tough time with this long distancing because of the time difference. Please just give us a little indication of how a day between the two of you would go to stay in contact.
It was easier for me, I think, because now I try it like with my friends and I'm so confused with the time in Australia and where they are and what the hell's going on. So the fact that Ty actually got to keep up with the time zones,
because it's 8 hours ahead,
8 or 9 with the daylight savings.
Season,
So
listen,
I
was going from Portugal over an 8-week period. I went from Spain to Portugal, so it changed from Amy. So it was like from 9 hours to 8 hours. And then when I was in Portugal, her clocks turned backwards. So then I had to go, okay, back to 9 hours. Then I went from Portugal and we went to Holland. So then we came back to 8 hours. Then I went from Holland and I flew into Bulgaria. Then it became 7 hours.
Oh my gosh.
So, and I would wake up.
And my time was always the same.
Her time was the same. So I was adjusting my day every day. And every day when I was working for the company, I was working from, I'd get up in the morning at like 6:30. Well, I'd get up at 6 to talk to Amy till 7. 7, I would go to work, and then I would text her when I got the chance. She would go to sleep by midday, like 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, my time. She would sleep. Then I would be chilled till about 10, 11, maybe 12 o'clock at night. 12 o'clock at night, she would wake up.
Quite late.
Bizarre though.
I should have woken up early.
Look, I think if you woke up at 8, then it would be 10, something like that.
So I woke up at like 10.
10 at night.
Yeah, no, she'd wake up. I'd speak to her mainly at like 12, 11, 12, 1, and then I'd go to sleep, wake up at 6, and then she'd be halfway through her day, towards the end of her day.
But then,
and I'd speak to her again. And we would just continue.
It's mad love, hey guys. It's dedication.
I was watching ECN as well, like every day when I wasn't working.
She was watching cricket.
Yeah, and Lachlan was teaching me all about cricket. I'm like, dude, just teach me this game because like I have no idea what's going on.
And if you're gonna be with Tyrone, you need to know cricket.
This man's whole life. So explain it to me like I'm a 4-year-old, please. And then I eventually got it, and it was amazing. We watched it together, and it was cool. And then I was chatting to Vinny in the commentary, and it was just amazing to
I remember those times. I was also popping in and out there, and every time I'd see Amy, I'd be like, hey, Amy, I said, I know someone on this chat.
It's just amazing to see Ty like on TV and like, just the quality. And I was like, this is such great quality because when we video calling, it's always like pixelated or it
Yeah.
cuts in and out. And I'm like, your voice is so clear in the commentary on the microphone, and you're so clear. It's so nice to see you. You know.
You get the clear
Yeah, I
version.
enjoyed doing
And
some
I get all
commentary.
the
I
wide
enjoyed
angles
that.
of him as well when he's umpiring from the left and the right. And yeah, it's funny. But yeah, no, we were it brought us closer, the long distance, I think. I don't know. Yeah. Ty can only tell from his side. But the love just kept growing, and we're so like anxious to see each other every time. And
Yeah, it must be
we
that
just
saying,
keep it
absence
going
makes
as
the heart
well.
grow fonder, you know?
So we're like addicted to this feeling, I guess.
Yeah, and you kept on your toes because of the time difference, and then you're excited
Yeah.
to see each other at the next destination. So then Ty came to visit you, and that was September of 2022, right?
Yeah, then at the end of September 2022, I went back to Europe. I was in Holland for a day, and then I went to Spain again for 3 weeks. The 3 weeks there, and then Amy came after a month. She came to Holland for 10 days for her birthday. She spent like 10 days in Holland for her birthday. Then a month later, I went to Australia for another month. And we spent December of 2022 in Sydney,
Oh,
where the
yes,
weather
okay.
was a lot better. And it was a beautiful, it was a wonderful place. Really,
It
that
is amazing in
December
summer.
was magical.
It's amazing,
a
though.
magical place.
It's good that you get to actually see these parts of the world as well, and you can actually start relating to the differences of each place as well, and the difference in the weathers, and the difference in the temperatures, and the climate, and the people, and the cultures. It's, I think, also what keeps your relationship thriving. You know, you really are lucky
Constantly learning.
and blessed.
Yeah.
We're constantly learning because we have to learn, because all these places we're staying in now, the English is not their main language.
Yeah.
Today I went to the shop at 9:20. I walked down the road at 9:20, and everything was the normal guy that's got like a little fruit and veg shop around the corner here where I get some milk and bread. It was closed. There was an old lady standing there. So now I'm looking at her, and this guy's not around, and I'm talking to Paolo on the phone because I'm trying to figure out when I got to get this residency stuff. And I look at her and I'm like, is it coming to open? And she just starts rapping to me in Portuguese for like about a minute.
Goodness. I hate
For a
when
minute,
they do
not even-
that. It's like
But not
the
even like
worst.
10 seconds, not even 10 or 15 seconds, for like a minute, just
And-
going in
And then you
Portuguese.
say, sorry, I don't speak Portuguese, and then they carry on speaking to you in Portuguese. And I'm like,
No,
I don't
I didn't.
understand what you're saying.
I didn't even try. I didn't even try until I don't want to break her heart.
Yeah.
I just,
Or you just smile and nod. And
Yeah.
you're like,
I just
okay.
see. I went see.
And what time did he eventually open?
I don't know, probably 10, but I went down a little bit later. It was open, but probably around 10. But
Okay,
no, we're still
alright.
discovering this place now we're at now. So
Yeah. Okay, and then you guys,
Funny.
what did you guys do after December 2022? Let's move into 2023 so that we can
Oh,
just,
wow,
yeah.
23 was
I
insane. Because
graduated, and then, okay, sorry, carry on. Why was it insane?
no, you were right. She graduated. We spent the month in Sydney, and then Amy went back to South Africa for New Year's Eve. I went to Holland for New Year's Eve to see you guys.
Yes.
And then, I don't know, Amy was the first time in my life I saw her really upset. She was upset with me because I wasn't there for New Year's Eve. And then she was in South Africa for a month. So I found it was a pretty good opportunity to go back to South Africa. I hadn't seen anybody. I only went back for like 10, 12 days. But also we hadn't had an engagement party with her family. And I felt like that was pretty important to her.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I wanted it for me, but I knew logistically it would be a nightmare for all my family to get together. And quite honestly,
I do wish we had one.
they're all over the show. Our family and friends are all over the show. So
Yeah.
I knew the time would be right. And with us choosing on having a destination wedding, I thought it'd be ample time to have, as many times together with people leading up to the wedding. So went back to South Africa for like 12 days, and then we both came back to the Netherlands. And then more of my journey started with the company. I went to Malta for 2 weeks. Amy came and met me there.
So
We then
Amy had
went to Gibraltar.
finished and she had decided to come and start meeting your places and then kept going back. No, you stayed. Okay, yeah.
She
so
came
carry
to
on.
live with me.
Yeah, carry
She
on. You
came to
carry
live
on.
with me.
No, I sent 3 suitcases from Sydney to your mom's house.
Yeah,
In the Netherlands.
In the Netherlands, I remember
It showed
that.
up 3 months later. Packed everything, sold everything.
Yeah, you helped
let's
her,
do
Ty.
this
You were
Europe
in
thing.
Sydney helping her do that, weren't you?
Okay, don't stay in Australia where cricket
Yeah,
is
right, I
like
was.
the biggest sport ever. Anyway.
Listen, I don't know if he could have done that with all the family. That timeline sounds very hectic. I'm sorry. It's like it's a different world. It's a different world.
It was sad to say goodbye. You know, my nana was there and a lot of family and friends that I didn't know that it was possible to make because I never made it in South Africa.
Yeah.
And there was, it was like such a cool feeling. Like living the life with like a roommate during COVID. We became best friends and it was just amazing to call friends family as well when I was there.
Nice.
She was Nepalese. She is Nepalese. Her name is Puj.
Mm.
So also an expat, you know, figuring out Australia.
Nice.
And even though I was born there, I felt like an expat there.
Yeah, of course, because you didn't live there most of your life. So, of course,
Exactly.
you were. And now you're feeling like an expat in all these different places as you travel with Ty. So you guys went to Malta. Ty, Amy met you from Malta, from South Africa to Malta, right?
No, she went to Holland and she was there for a week. And then after a week, she came to Malta. And then she was with me in Malta. We went from Malta to Gibraltar. So we flew to Malaga, drove to Gibraltar. Then we were there for 10 days. Then we went up to Malaga. We were there for 2 weeks. And then we went back to the Netherlands. We were in the Netherlands for a little while, but also up and down. I went to Vienna. So then I went to Portugal. When I went to Portugal, then Amy had to go back home. She went home for like 5 weeks. She wanted to go check the wedding venue. It was very important to check the wedding venue and start finalizing her dress and checking dress stuff out. So she went back to South Africa for, I would say, about 6 weeks. Then it was also good for her passport because she couldn't be in Europe for too long. She had to go back. Otherwise, she needed to get residency. And she hadn't done that at that time. So went back home. I then was in Holland for a while. And then when Amy came back to Netherlands, I was in Austria. She then came to Austria to meet me there. And then we went back to Holland. Then we went to Prague for a week. Then we went back to Netherlands. I then went to work in Sweden, where Amy didn't join me because then she started working in the Netherlands. She started busking all around Utrecht, and she started working for Bershka, and she started riding her bicycle and hustling and becoming the most productive little Dutch.
That's what Utrecht does to you. I was thinking earlier, like you were saying that I operate when I'm not with you, but that's not the case. I operate in Utrecht, where everything is so rushed.
Where everything operates.
Everything
you
operates.
have no choice.
You don't have a choice, literally.
And it's also a very high cost of living here, so you have to make
But
money.
you're just always on the move for some reason. I don't know why.
But just listen, just go back to that. Listen to that list you just rolled off your tongue.
Oh yeah, no, amazing.
Just listen to this list you guys just rolled off your tongue in 1 year. Think about that.
Literally.
No, we're still halfway through. That's literally halfway through the year.
Okay,
And
keep
then-
going.
No, but I wanted to say, what did I want to say now? All the traveling. So he was 2 weeks working, 2 weeks back, 2 weeks working. Me, on the other hand, I was 1 week somewhere, 1 week somewhere, 1 week, 1 week, 1 week, 1 week.
I remember
Because
you had anxiety.
I only went for like a few days and then I come back and then I go again for a few days somewhere else and then I come back and it was insane, all the traveling.
You definitely learned how to pack light.
Yeah, listen.
No, think about it. Think about
I'm
it.
trying my best. I got a lot of
What you
stuff.
walked in with now is so
Not bad,
far
eh?
back, better than what you came with first time I saw you here. Like 3 suitcases, jackets.
Listen, it's cold here.
Yeah.
Way too cold. That's
Okay,
why
but now I want to
keep
get
us
on with
going.
I want to get on with this to go through because I want to talk to you guys a little bit about as well the differences in the place. So you came back
So
here.
then came back. Then so after Sweden, I went back to Holland. Then so after that one, I had Hungary, and Amy wanted to go to Hungary a lot. So then she came to Budapest for a week.
Nice.
So I was there for 2 weeks. Then I went from there to Portugal, but to Miranda de Corvo, which is in the middle of Portugal,
Wow.
middle of nowhere. And so then Amy came and joined me there for 3 days. Then she had to get home. It was crazy. We had messed up her ticket home. And on the final hour, she had organized a ticket where I can't remember how it worked, but she flew from Porto to like Luxembourg. And then she took a train from Luxembourg up through Belgium, up through France, then through Belgium, something like that, and then into Holland.
Yeah.
It was incredible, her journey.
I had to change trains in Belgium. I should have got out the train station and thought of it, but I had some luggage and stuff.
I didn't want to take the chance. You missed that, you screwed for hours. But then I went from Portugal straight to Switzerland. So I was 6 weeks on the road. I went straight from Portugal to Switzerland, then I went to St. Gallen in Switzerland. And Switzerland, if anybody that's listening, that's mind-blowing place. That is mind-blowing. Do some research about that place. You will not look at the whole world the same way once you've been to Switzerland or you've seen how those people think and operate.
Yeah.
Then I went back to the Netherlands, and Amy and I got a place in Utrecht by ourselves, which was lovely. And the World Cup soccer and rugby was kicking off soon, so there was a good vibe happening. I then went to Germany, to Krefeld, did some work there, came back. And then after that, Amy and I moved back to Spain. We moved to Spain, to Malaga, and we lived there till the end of November.
And you had the most beautiful
I also went to Croatia for a week.
You forgot.
But not that time. That time we've spent in different places, but it was beautiful, different places in Malaga, but we hadn't found our sea view yet. That was the beginning of this year.
Yeah, not yet. Oh, although
the end of last year was still beautiful places. Beautiful places.
No, he did have a sea view. It just wasn't like right on the beach.
No, but the one that we had the view of was the sunset view at Minerva.
Yes.
In Torremolinos. But
Benalmádena.
It's really
I can't keep up, guys. We've been to so many places. I can't keep up. I just know that view, and also all the pictures I get sent are always about a beautiful view. Or it's like 3:00 in the afternoon, and I get a selfie from Amy on the beach in between classes. I'm just like, what? Can you believe this chick's life?
That's amazing.
Yeah, but this is why, like, if you want to talk about different cultures and stuff, all the different places that I've been to, like, I could definitely just start off first with the Spanish culture.
Yeah.
If I think about the job that I do, and I think about the 2 weeks and all the different places, people think it's all fun and games. But I'm working 12 hours a day, and it's 6 days a week. You get 1 day off, so you work 12 days out of 14 days. And you travel 2 hours of those days. So out of 16 days, you're away from home, and it's hard.
Yeah.
So when you're back home for the other 12 days, the 12 or 13 days you're home before you have to leave again, Spanish lifestyle's magic. You know, you can wake up late, you eat nice food, you have a nice day on the beach, you can have a sleep in the afternoon, guilt-free. No one's got issues with you sleeping in the afternoon. The sun's shining all the time. People are good looking and friendly. A lot of people are on holiday, so they're all having a good time. Busking is, or if you want to busk, it seems like it's a chill vibe. Everything seems like a chill vibe. So, you know, you eat late. If you go out for supper, you eat at 9:30. Most places only open at 8:00 at night.
Yeah.
So it's such a relaxed vibe. So for me, it's magic. But I can understand for Amy when she's there, if she's there for 3-4 weeks a month, if she doesn't come see me, which she most often does, but if she's not, I can understand why it can get a bit like, wow, like too many people are on holiday here. You know, it's not, you don't really make that many friends.
Yeah. Like this isn't real life. People are on vacation.
Yeah.
Or they're retired and really old.
But I think it's also this, you said it just now, when you're in Utrecht in the Netherlands, you have to operate because that's the energy. When you're in South Africa, in Joburg, you have to hustle because that's the energy.
Yeah.
When you're in Spain, you can just chill because there's siestas every afternoon. It's so lekker. But now just going back to it, so then you went to Croatia and then carry on with the rest of the year because I want to get to the grand day.
No, we've passed the grand day. This
okay,
is what
Croatia.
I'm saying, that you forgot.
Then I went to Croatia.
What grand day are you talking about, Amy?
I thought Oh, are we still talking about
I'm not
mountain?
there yet. I'm
We're
not
still
there
in
yet. I'm not there
2022.
yet.
No, I mean
I
2023.
thought we were
Mid
talking
year.
about where
Get
we
in there,
stayed
Cappy.
now.
No, we're at the end.
We got there. I jumped that in
Oh,
there.
you jumped
I
in
jumped
there.
it in. I confused the
Okay,
situation,
sorry.
guys.
All right, continue.
Can I?
You may.
Tell her. After Croatia, came back to Spain for like 2 weeks. South Africa had won the World Cup rugby. It was magic. Then
What a feeling.
I went to Amy. Then came back to Holland for 6 days, where it was like -4 degrees. I went to Barcelona, where it was pretty cold. I did 2 weeks in Barcelona, and then I went back to South Africa, where I met Amy. She went back to South Africa as well, and I started preparing for the wedding. And yeah, then that was the last time I spent a couple of weeks with Merlin, and then I was seeing all my friends. Then Amy and I were training in the gym again. I was playing golf with her family. I was enjoying life. And then we went down to Belito and Salt Rock for just after New Year, 2nd of Jan. And we spent from then till I think it was the 13th of Jan. We're down there, the 10th of Jan, 10th or 12th of Jan. And then we were down there for the wedding. We got married on the 6th of January.
Woohoo!
And
It was a beautiful wedding.
Beautiful day, wonderful day. Amazing to see everybody. Amazing to spend
On the
time
beach.
with such people.
Walk down the aisle on
energy
the
was
sand.
The dream.
Waves in the
All the
background.
time. It was lovely. Lovely. The days leading up to it, the days after it. Such a wonderful feeling in my heart. So grateful to everybody. And and then 3 days in Joburg with staying in Amy's place with her parents. And then bang, gone. Off overseas again I went.
Yeah.
Back to work in Barcelona.
Back
again,
to work.
The third time going without me to Barcelona.
Yeah, it was first Gibraltar.
Yeah, but
It
you
was
still had
Gibraltar
things
for
to
10
do.
days.
I did.
I was Gibraltar for 10 days, then Barcelona for 2 weeks. Then Amy came back the day before Valentine's Day. Then I got her a gift, a nice one, got her Valentine's, we went, and then we found a place with a lovely view, and we spent 3 magical months there, and also up and down traveling. And she's come
Hired
to
a
visit
car,
me.
drove up the coastline of Spain.
That was
That's
recent.
only at the end of the 3 months. Like there's so much that was going on in between. But most
Amy
days
still
were
came to
very
Portugal.
lazy.
She went to London.
I did go to London. My brother recently moved there, so another.
And also your
Yes.
parents came to visit you.
Yeah.
And Amy's been doing teaching lessons online.
Yeah, I was gonna say when I went back to South Africa in that April time to check and suss out the wedding venues, I took up a TEFL course because I was like, okay, let me just teach English online because that's what everyone says makes money. So I actually did it. I actually began to enjoy it and thinking, maybe I can do this. So did the 120-hour TEFL certificate. And it was the greatest time to do it because it was South Africa, nothing much to do there besides go to the gym. And as if you're not working, literally.
Yeah.
Then I started online teaching. And then it took a few months to pick up. But I had to find some way to work online for this to work.
Yeah.
For
you to be able to travel and be free flowing with Ty while he does his thing and you do your thing and not be stuck in South Africa.
So,
At least to get to see
but
each other.
She's also not a big fan of retail. She does the retail, and Holland's got a good retail. They pay you lekker, but she's not a big fan of the mundane, brainless tasks.
No, and also you've
It's
also
just a
did some
waste
gigs,
of
didn't you,
time.
in Spain as well?
Yeah,
You
I
went and did a gig.
Yeah, that was really nice. I wish I did more. But they were like booked up for this.
And the thing is, you can. Tormelinas, there's lots of gigs.
yeah, my name's on the list, hopefully. I'll
And
get some more
also,
gigs.
let's not forget that also Amy can do house sitting and pet sitting, which he is now busy doing in the Netherlands. Just finished today.
Just finished.
10 days of looking after Chucky and Clover. Shout out to those two doggies.
Special dogs. I love them. Oh my goodness, I want to go back. I cried when I said goodbye.
Oh.
But Ty encourages messages this because he knows how happy I am when I'm around dogs.
Yeah, well, listen, you got the whole gear. She took the dogs with us to go visit Jess and Mom, and yes, as I can tell you, one point she was dragging the dog because it couldn't anymore. She's like, "Come on, boy, come on, girl, let's go."
Literally.
No,
it was fun though, and it was a South
she
African
never
couple as
ever
well.
feels. Yeah, Amy never feels alone when she's got the dog. She's got such a good connection.
Yeah, but animals are like that. You know how it was with Merlin. Merlin is our dog, our German Shepherd that we've had since 2013. We sadly had to put him down. He got ill, but he was such a magical dog to every single body. He saved so many people's hearts. He made everybody feel good and welcome. He
was there that night as well, looking after us.
Yeah, actually, I think it's Merlin that was the one that saved your lives, you know. Had he not come into the house to give you guys signal, I think you might not have known. So, yeah, shout out to our beautiful, magical Merlin, who now is in doggy heaven. Merlin!
What was that sound you always made? And he always came every time. Every time, wherever he was in the house. And then he'd appear. And I'm like, ow!
Yeah, such a magical dog. He saved my heart as well. So he came into my life after a very, very heartbreaking episode. And I know he touched so many people's lives. But that's the thing about animals. They bring that certain element of stability that I think sometimes as humans we get so stuck in our mental capacity that we forget about the fact that, there's a little dog staring at me and he needs some food, you know?
Yeah, but it's also like, if you think about it, I don't know, maybe I'm going a bit too far into this, but too deep, but it's like a godliness. It's a connection with source, with the divine, with God, with power, like with love.
Yeah.
You know, it's just unconditional love. Like a cat stares you down and gives you a little bit of a if or a but, and sometimes it comes to you, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
But a dog, it falls in love with you and then it loves you. Just loves you and loves you and loves you so much.
Yeah, and actually, so many times I would be in like this ugly girl cry, having a emotional breakdown, and I would just see him look at me and kind of be like,
literally,
just a little sound and tilts his head, and I was just like, okay, all right, I'm not alone.
My little Jemima puddle duck as well. She also used to.
Jemima puddle duck. What the fuck?
She was my bestie.
But I didn't. Look, what the hell language are you talking now?
That's a dog's name.
I know, but I didn't know it was Jemima.
Puddle duck.
Puddle duck.
Because she waddles like a duck. She's like a diva.
But you never told me that was her name. So when you said it now, I was like, what the fuck? Jemima Puddle Duck.
Yeah, listen, I named her when I was 8. And then, she was 17. She lived quite a long life, actually. Yeah, besties.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're amazing. Yeah. And then let me ask you this. If you guys could just give us some insights of what you miss about South Africa, what you don't miss about South Africa. I kind of want to get into that, but I also want to know some things about from what you've seen together, collectively. What is your favorite spot that you have been to together? I mean, I know Ty's been a few places that you haven't. You've been a few places he hasn't. Because you remember, you guys also didn't mention Israel.
I know what he's going to say. Oh, I forgot about that.
You didn't mention Israel.
Oh, we mentioned Israel.
I don't think we've gotten there yet, actually, in the year. Have we gotten there yet?
We're already past your wedding.
No, we went. I missed it.
You did miss it. Okay.
It was after Germany and it was before we moved to Spain.
And
we had a little gap.
Gut feeling that we had to go. I needed you to see it before we got married.
She said, we have to go. We have to go. We have to go. And still, when we were in Israel, I still said to her, babe, things are going to kick off here. It doesn't feel right. Things are going to kick off soon.
This was just pre everything, hey?
That was like, it was literally 10 days, 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
It was 2 weeks before.
So because you couldn't go there now.
Could go there now, People traveling all the time. Actually got an email saying come volunteer in Israel and help and whatever.
Yeah,
but you guys also brought me some frankincense and myrrh back.
Yeah. It was amazing to show.
Yeah, listen, I'll tell you, Jerusalem, what a place. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we did the whole Christian tour when we were there. It was amazing.
Yeah, you get a good feeling there in Jerusalem. It's incredible.
Yeah. Also, like you guys were feeling at Fatima.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, it was a different feeling. But now in Cyprus now, I felt the same as Israel because it's so close.
Yeah.
And my phone in Cyprus was saying that I was in Beirut because the Israelis scrambled the GPSs.
Oh, wow.
So weird.
How's
How
that?
crazy
And
is
you,
that?
and you are Lebanese.
So I walked down the
descent,
road. I walked down the road and then I look at my phone and I'm thinking, where am I? Where's the hotel? So I type in the phone where the hotel is and it says it's 246 k's away. And I think, geez, how far did I walk? And then I look, and it's just because it says on my location I'm in Beirut. So thank goodness. Then I said to the copper, because one of the guys I work with is the ex-copper from England. And he said to me, nah, the Israelis, they scramble the signal here.
Oh, my word.
So it's quite strange how much you learn about the world. But you asked me what I miss about South Africa.
Yeah.
I miss the people. I miss my best friends. I miss my brothers. I miss Cheppy. I miss everything it stands for. I miss my family that's all there. I miss the weather of Joburg. I miss the food. I miss all the different food. I miss the price of the food.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real.
I miss playing golf for cheapest chips.
Going to gym.
I miss the gyms there. I miss the way people are. I miss the African people, black people. I miss colored people. I miss Indian people. I miss South African people.
I miss African women.
You know, but
they're the best.
but there's many things I don't miss. There's many things I don't miss at all.
You miss Granny.
I miss Granny, but I don't miss. Like Africa makes me sad in many ways.
Yeah,
like
that's the thing.
Let's see. Maybe in the next year or two we part of a miracle and the whole world can change. I mean, South Africa can change because it's that easy.
Yeah,
it's so that easy. There's so much potential there, but whether people's greed and pride and ego will allow it, time will tell.
Yeah.
But there's so many things that make me sad about it when I go back. That it makes me think. You know, it was crazy. One of my boys asked me the other day when I'm coming back, and I just said to him, I really don't know. Because what would the reason be?
Well, that was one of the questions I wanted to ask you guys, if you guys would ever decide to move back there. But that's obviously consequential to whether or not things change. There's no ways, I mean, if you guys want to start a family, to think about doing it there.
Yeah.
Especially knowing what you know now and where you are and from your past experiences. So.
Yeah, but it feels like it just makes all South Africans like the wandering South Africans. Like we just wander somewhere else, or we don't know where to go because we feel South Africa's home. So how can we make anywhere else home? Because we just miss, and we don't feel right really anywhere.
No.
So it's hard to make a decision because we know we want to be in South Africa.
Yeah.
It's the comfort zone of it all because it's home. Even though it is devastating, the feeling of it, you home. This is home. And I think that's the key of missing South Africa.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's so important to surround yourself with South Africans if you're in countries that there are South African communities, because they are. And that's what I found in Utrecht when I was on the group and when I was busking. And when Jess opened the shop and seeing all these different South Africans and hearing the accents and comparing, why did you come here? Or why did you leave South Africa? Would you ever go back?
And the podcasts as well, just listening to other people's stories has been opening my eyes.
So that kind of brings South Africa to us, which is really nice because that is the best part of South Africa is its people. Like now, I don't think anyone else would have helped me bring a suitcase up, a stranger.
Oh, yeah.
Besides for a South African. I'm like,
absolutely. Rion.
And it's happened in an airport as well.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Like a suitcase fell off a trolley and people were just walking past and then South Africans came to help me.
Yeah, there is that warmth and that, chutzpah, the South African neighbor of mine. Rion helped Amy come up while I was on the phone.
Oh, lifesaver. Showed up at the correct time. It was great.
Yeah, exactly. So nice. And Ty, what are your feelings about returning back?
Well, yes, I dream that I get an opportunity to go back to South Africa and work for South African cricket. I dream of one day that they become colorblind, and they give me the chance to go and help them become the best cricket board in the world. I always want to be involved in cricket, no matter what it is. And in South Africa, I'd like to be involved in coaching if it could be that opportunity. But I don't care what I did. They could tell me I must be a scout and I must go find all the most talented cricketers in South Africa. As long as they give me and Amy a good life, probably would love to live down in Cape Town. I just can't see myself living in Johannesburg again. There's so many memories with Dad.
Being a scout.
I've got so many memories with Dad in Joburg, so I don't want to really. I'd like to just be somewhere else. But otherwise, I agree with Amy 100%. We are like wanderers, yeah. We like to check everything out. We like to see all the different things. And yeah, I agree with that as well. You got to try and see as many South Africans.
Yeah.
It's just, you just feel like you can trust them.
Yeah. But I was also saying to Vanessa that it was also this kind of feeling of when you look into South Africans' eyes, there's this awareness that you both know, even though you don't know. You know. It's almost like this welcoming familiarity, you know. And I think this is also why I really am enjoying putting out the podcast, because they are really inspiring me to understand that we are doing good by spreading the South African. We're still South African, even though we're not living there. We are actually out there scouting, or we're out there promoting the world to the world, South Africans, you know?
Yeah.
And I just think that at the end of the day, surrounding yourself with the South Africans, like at the Lekker store, or, you know, through doing these podcasts, or even just sitting there on King's Day and just hearing people come past and be like, Yussus, check that out. And, oh, yeah, you got to have a boerewors roll. You know, it's a South African tradition. You can see the pride. You can feel the warmth. You can see how it makes them feel connected. But ultimately, you know, what is the decision? To go back there and struggle? Because you, like you just said, you wish that it wouldn't be a color blindness, which there is, or get out there and promote the country and hopefully bring tourism there and, you know, bring hope and keep people's thoughts and feelings about the country alive. And, you know, when they see you getting all excited, ooh, and curious, you're South African and you're white. I love that.
Crazy.
And okay, so now, like, I want to just also go through a few things with you guys about South Africa. But before that we do that, I just want to wrap up your feelings on where you've been to a lot of places. I can't even remember all of them. And maybe on the credits or in this in the comments or in the bio, I'll put a lot of where you guys have been, so that we can actually just lock it down.
Yeah.
But where you guys have traveled together, can you come up with one of the places that you both felt you really enjoyed and could have possibly seen even a glimpse of living there? I know you said earlier Thailand.
Let's say it
we'll
on
be
like
back there.
3 at the same time. Okay.
No, man.
No, come on.
Listen, just hear me out. Just hear me, please.
Okay.
All I'm saying is that there's different things, like the most beautiful place, the place that you enjoyed the most, or the place that you want to live.
What's the first place that came to mind?
You know what I mean? Like, the most beautiful place is definitely Prague. We both love Prague. Wow, what a place. Unbelievable. Prague's the most beautiful, best place. You love Budapest, but I want to live in Thailand one day. Copenhagen, yes. Bring it to me tomorrow.
Okay, but realistically, what came to mind?
I love Spain. I love Spain. What do you say, babe?
No, I thought you were going to say Torremolinos.
Spain.
Torremolinos, yeah. Torremolinos.
Yeah. I think
That's
this last
beautiful.
gig you were at, this last place where you guys were, you felt
I
settled.
loved it. Jeez, it was magic.
Yeah.
To sit on my balcony every day and look at the beach and watch the sunrise every morning.
Didn't you feel like
What
you were
a
in
privilege.
Derbs?
I felt like I was blessed by God.
Yeah.
I felt like I was an emperor. I felt like an emperor on the 5th story.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
on the 5th story.
With a
You know,
pink
and-
bathroom.
Yeah.
A funny little story about Spain that we found out on our travels now is that General Franco was such good mates with Germany. I mean, with Hitler. He loved Hitler so much. He was such good mates with him that he changed Spain's time to Germany's time. Even though Spain's supposed to have the same time as Portugal and England. It's got the same time as the rest of Europe because of Franco giving it to the same time as Germany. So even in summer, the sun will only rise there at like 7:30.
But they're on the
supposed
same
to be
time,
like 6:30.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's very
but they're
interesting,
on the same time as Holland. Yeah.
But don't you
Also,
also
if you
find
wanna-
that Europe's got a lot of history, Ty?
So
Of
much.
course.
Way too much.
Yeah.
So much to learn.
Yeah.
Of course. So much to learn. Love it.
So I would then say your top 3 is Spain, Torremolinos, Prague or Budapest, and Thailand.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Listen, yeah, definitely, because all because of the weather and lifestyle.
I would
Yeah.
also
You know, if
say
you told me
Australia.
because of the way the buildings look, and you told me because of the life you could lead, just because you could ride a bicycle every day, I would love to live in the Netherlands. But you can keep all that rain and that mist and that freezing cold.
Listen, even the Dutch people are at the point of saying they have 5-year plans to get out of here.
Literally.
They're looking for somewhere where there's
all going to
sun.
Malaga. That's
And
where
Lisbon,
they
actually.
are.
I was speaking to a guy. I was out on Saturday night, and it's a Dutch guy. He's in his early 20s. He's probably like in Amy's age range, you know, and just kind of like the new age. And he was like, he's influencer on Instagram and social media and whatever, and he can work quite mobilely wherever he goes. He went to Faro for 10 days, and he pretty much fell in love with the place. That he's come back here saying, I'm really looking at by next year being there, leaving my place here, renting something there, and just living in that consistent, beautiful sunshine, you know, not so unpredictable weather, and just the cost of living. The cost of living alone is just like, wow. You know, we're talking about cost of living, where if you look at just certain ratios of what you pay in Spain or Portugal compared to what you pay in the Netherlands, it's like you really have to have a good job here. You really have to be switched on. There's a lot of taxes, but everything does run properly, and there's proper transport systems to get around easy in this country.
They'll make it work for you. Even if you don't have a great job, they'll make it work for you there. They'll help you out if they need to help you out, and they'll even show you how to make it work for yourself.
Yeah.
But keep the weather.
Exactly.
You know, keep it.
Exactly. And
I
often,
and the things I can see myself having to do a bit of a gig there. I can, but and I would love to if it was the right career path move. But gee whiz, man.
yeah, but listen,
my
now
job-
let's look at it this way: the summer and the winter here, when it is a normal winter and summer, it's a different place. You know, your ideal thing would be if you could find 6 months here in the summer here, and then somewhere else where there's summer, even if it's
Summer
lower parts
here
of
is
Spain.
Like 2 months. It's not 6 months. Summer. Yeah.
3 months.
Listen, we've had some good weather here. When 2022 rolled around, there were some good months here, I would say, from really May, June, July, August, September. They were hot months.
That's unfair.
It was freaking fantastic
No, but
weather.
we did experience some really hot days last year, right? Yeah, some really hot days.
The thing is with the Netherlands, it's a different place when it's raining and it's overcast compared to when the sun shines. And it's just, like you say, it's so unpredictable that if you here, you have to, you know, like really settle through it and take some vitamin D, because you really don't see the sun. But if you have the opportunity to go somewhere in Europe still, because you still want that European lifestyle, let's be honest. I mean, it still operates, it's still structured, it's still okay. It's too many rules and all this crap, but it works.
Yeah.
It's safe.
Yeah, it's safe, exactly, guys. It's safe.
That as well.
Safe.
Sure.
That's number one. It's safe.
I mean, also the other night, Amy was leaving, and what was it, after the yoga class, and she left here at like 11:30, took the 11:45 train.
I felt eerie riding back because it was really dark
and quiet.
But
that could also just be the South African and the PTSD.
It was, no,
in you.
definitely, for sure.
Yeah. But there's no doubt in my mind that you were 100% safe. You'd never do that in South Africa, let alone on a bike.
Yeah. Literally.
In a car and wrapped up in seatbelts and not going through the traffic lights, like using them as four-way stops.
A bike, for sure. Yeah. I would ride everywhere. Don't have to only ride in the Netherlands. Ty seems to think that you only ride a bike.
Yeah, but Netherlands is geared for it, eh?
Yeah,
it's geared for it.
True.
There's roads for you.
Amy,
it's safe.
That's the thing. Again, it's safe. You can't ride a bike here. People will knock you over in Portugal.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they would actually, because if you look
Crazy
at all the
amount of
roads
cars
here,
here.
look at the roads here. Yeah. They've got dedicated bike lanes.
Yeah.
Dedicated bike lanes. And sometimes
You're
you have to go.
the safest person on the road in a bicycle there in Netherlands.
Yeah, I love it.
You can be drunk. You can be drunk and go through a red robot. And if a car knocks you over, it's their fault.
Sure. I know. It's very... But also the ways that things work here is because they follow the rules. People follow the rules.
And they're very aware of the rules.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit of the South African words that you may still be using, slang words. Are there any words that maybe it's different between the generations, but certainly should be some words that you like to use that are slang that when you say it to some foreigners, they kind of don't know what you're talking. It's not English. It's not...
The thing is, I confuse Yiddish words with Afrikaans words with slang words. So you guys need to tell me if you guys know it. So nogal?
Yeah, nogal, we know.
Is that Afrikaans?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Schlep?
That's so Jewish stuff.
Yeah, I think that's Yiddish.
Such a schlep.
But we all use it,
Everyone knows it, yeah.
We all use it.
I love it. And then gatvol is definitely Afrikaans.
Yeah, gatvol, yeah.
Yeah, I love that one.
It is a good one. I'm gatvol of this.
But the only one that I still use to this day besides Yussus is has it.
Has it. We were actually talking about that, Ty. She was saying when she speaks to her friend in Australia and she says, how's it? He always kind of mimics it back like, how's it?
How's it?
How's it? When I say how's it to my friends, I say how's it? And then they go, has it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
They have no idea what I'm saying, but they mock it back like, has it? Has it? And for you, Taza, words that you use, Bud, because I know you got you and your friends.
He's got a dictionary of words that him and his boys know.
And I'm telling you, Amy, even South Africans wouldn't even know what they're talking about, I'm sure. Tell us some words there, Butchie.
Yeah.
Oh, well, listen, at work now, there's another South African that's at work now, so it's a lot better because they can understand me. And then also when Paulo, when he's working, he's also South African, so it helps a lot because then I don't have to worry too much about what I'm saying because then if Oaks don't understand, then those Oaks tell them what I'm saying. So Oaks is one. They all like, what the hell is Oaks? And I explain to them, blokes, Oaks. And then sometimes I call them Machana, but mostly Butty.
Machana?
Come on, Butty. Or Machana, and then otherwise, of course, I say Yussus and Lekker and that it's Lekker and Kak. And,
do you say shame?
Shame, man.
No, sometimes, a lot of the time, but normally because a guy that's got hit in the head with the cricket ball, so it's worth saying shame, oh shit, shame, man.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
That's heavy?
That's heavy. Yeah.
That's heavy.
There's loads of African words like power. They all love it when I say, that's power.
That's the thing I wanted to ask. How do people take your reaction to your stuff? Is there a lot of what are you talking about? What did you just say? Hey, what's that word?
A lot of the time they'll laugh. So the Indian guys and the Asian guys, they're brilliant. They don't even ask me. They pick it up immediately and then they use it in the same context. They'll just start using it in the same context that I use it. Whereas the white guys, the Pommies and the Australians and the other guys, the Germans, they'll have a laugh, they'll ask me about it, but then they'll also use it. But it's quite funny. And they teach me some words as well. Like I've learned to count basically in Urdu and Hindi. I can basically count. I count, I think over 100. But it's difficult. Some of the words are ridiculously difficult. But and then, of course, you learn that from working in South Africa. You learn the different words of the cultures, and then they immediately want to learn more about you because you've taken the time and effort to learn about them. And then it's those are the kind of words. Put is the main one. I'm constantly saying put or putty because that's the easiest way to get someone's attention when you're talking to a male.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
But
that
I
is
can't
it.
think of that anymore.
Yeah, listen, I must be honest with you. It's all good. It's pretty much the words that I would say that I hear from you guys the most as well is those words that you've just said now. The other one I really, really love is the cuck. You know, it comes up in every single.
What cuck,
But
man?
Germans have the same word.
It's
Germans
cuck.
are the same word. They use it for the same thing, and they love it as well. Germans.
Yeah, but that's what we've also got to realize is that the South African slang is also such a mixture of Yiddish, German, Afrikaans, Portuguese, Italian. There's a lot of
Dutch.
words that are Dutch that we actually just have
lekker.
taken and put together and made it into our own kind of vibe, our own soup, our own potjie pot.
Our own language.
Yeah, yeah.
The
yeah.
Lebanese as well.
Yes, I know. I saw that the other day. I'm sure Kif is actually also Lebanese.
Yeah.
Who?
Kif.
I don't know about that.
It is. It's spelled. When we were doing our first pod together, I was looking up slang words, and it's spelled Kief. But I did a whole research online, and it was showing me even Indian. There's Indian slang words we use. There's colored slang words that we use. There's Yiddish. There's German. There's Lebanese. There's Portuguese. So basically, what we've done is we've taken all the different languages, and we've sort of put together this common language for us all to understand. You know, it's weird, but it's good. It's nice. I'm just also thinking if there's anything else you guys want to say, if there's any messages that you want to give out to people that are still living in South Africa, and messages to people living abroad, you know, because I think we're going to wrap it up now and probably have another part 2 of you guys so we can continue following your journey, see where you land up in the next year or 6 months.
Yeah, somewhere else.
Well, I just
Don't
wanted
even
to
know
say
yet.
that I hope that the guys that can afford to come see us in Europe can come see us in Europe whenever they want. We'll make plans, and it'll be lekker. And then good luck in South Africa. My God, you know, there's so many things I listen to about happening back home, and I just pray to God from my mouth to His ears and your prayers that He makes South Africa the greatest country in the whole world, like it can be, with the most love in the world and the place everybody in the whole world wants to go live because they're the greatest people in the world.
Inshallah.
That's what I hope. And otherwise, miss everybody. And thank you to everybody that I know overseas, and thanks for being so cool. Lekker.
Lekker.
Lekker, soos 'n cracker.
Lekker soos 'n cracker.
Oh, another thing I wanted to say that's not even slang, that I thought that was just part of the English grammar was just now,
Just
now,
now.
and now
And now.
is not now.
No.
And just now is not now either.
Give me a sec.
Yeah,
That was a little
just a sec.
No,
Yeah.
now is just a sec. Just now is a little bit later.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you know,
Right now
yeah.
is now.
Yeah. But we know. You don't even have to say anything else. We just know. If you say just now, we know what you mean. If you say now, we know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very confusing. And you know how many fights I've got into with people
Yeah,
because I've
that's
said
one thing
just
I
now.
must say.
Yeah, exactly. Me
But I
too.
said
The
now.
people-
Yeah. Because
So-
when I
With
was
the
with
people
friends.
that I work with, they like it.
Yeah, when I was hanging out with friends in
like it.
Australia and I was like, I'm going to get an Uber just now. And they're like, but you just got here. I'm like, no, like in half an hour.
Yeah.
But you said just now. But
That means later.
that means later. It's
Yeah, a
not
little bit
now.
later.
But they hear the word now and they think you're meaning now.
Yeah, exactly. So that
No,
was
that's a
an
lekker one.
adjustment.
Thanks for bringing that one up.
Yeah, it just came back to me. I forgot about it.
It just came back to you, eh? And then give us a little rundown on what your projected plans are for coming months with the two of you. What you're going to be up to, girls and boys.
Okay, so we're going to be staying in Portugal for the next 3 months. Found somewhere nice.
You buy that statue.
Yeah.
What's
big
it called, Ty?
Jesus, statue.
Right by the Jesus Christ statue.
Yeah. It could be in Brazil.
Yeah.
in Rio.
Across the bridge from Lisbon, which is awesome. And gonna check it out, see how it goes. I don't know if Ty has high hopes for it, but I have a positive mind towards it. Want to check it out.
Explore it a bit more.
Just because it is still Europe, even though it is like the cheapest part maybe of Europe. Maybe not, though. If we're
not
honest
really.
with each other, yeah. Let's give it a try, because there are a lot of South Africans that have moved there, and it is for good reason, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Especially with the euro. It's just ridiculous.
Listen,
just
you guys
way
have got
too
the
much.
weather, you've got a low cost of
and the weather.
living. It's a
So-
new city, it's a new vibe. So you're going to rock there for 3 months. Are you coming to visit us in the Netherlands in September, I think you were
Hopefully
saying?
in September we'll be there for at least 2-3 weeks. For Amy, 3 weeks. Me, probably 10 days, maybe 12, 13 days.
Okay.
But
I have a cat sitting
Then-
job.
Oh, nice.
then no, we'll see. We'll see. If I get my way, hopefully we'll be living in Torremolinos October, November.
I'd like to bring
But
Mom there.
we'll see.
If I get
That's
my
what I'm
way,
saying.
we will be in Barcelona.
But the thing is, we're already going to go to Barcelona for 3 weeks for work, so we should be smart about our decision. But we'll discuss that in our private terms.
Can you hear they're a married couple now? We'll discuss that later,
Love
dear.
you, Cappy.
Because, come on, man, that place, I want to go back to that place again. We can get hold of her now. She'll give us a good deal. What a place. 2 more
Yeah.
months of magic
I
paradise.
think it's available
Paradise.
in October again.
But then we might have to, we'll see, because December I'm leaving open right now because we don't know.
Yeah.
Because we might have to, because just now we're looking, just now Amy falls in love with Portugal over these next 3 months. And then maybe in December we find a place in Cascais or something, somewhere that's really nice. Because the reason why the rent's so high now is because it's summer.
Yeah.
But the rent's a lot cheaper in other times of the year. And maybe we want to go to Barcelona, so maybe we want to go move there in December. So we don't know. The bottom line is we started a company here in the Netherlands, in Portugal, just about to get our residency sorted. We're paying social security. Bloody hell, bastards are taking our money. And at the end of the day, we don't know exactly where we want to live right now. So we're testing the waters.
Yeah.
Well, you're not even a year yet married, guys. Take it easy. Enjoy the experience. You're like Dora the Explorers,
No,
and you
just
really are
did
getting the
the-
fullness of life, really.
6 months. No,
Yeah.
just fab. Yeah.
And so we'll get in touch with you guys again in a couple months, and we'll recap on this
Just wanna-
conversation to see going forward, and see once you guys have settled somewhere,
Yeah.
then we can really get into the grooves of the nitty-gritties and comparisons of the two places, just out of curiosity to see how the different sides of the world live. But it's been a real pleasure and an honor, and so cool for you guys to be on this podcast with me. I really, really, really have. This has been on the top of my bucket list of podcasts, because I really wanted to get in touch with you guys and really hear your story, and really give you the opportunity and the platform to let everybody know about where you've been and what you're doing for inspiration, but also for yourselves to reflect on how wonderful, amazing, brave, and beautiful you both are, and how blessed you are to have each other and to have come out of the darkness into the light. Amy wanted to do a shout out, so I'm going to let her do that.
No, because just all around the world. I've got still family in South Africa. My parents, my mom and dad, they did, give us a fantastic childhood in South Africa. It was amazing.
Amazing.
And shout out to them. Hopefully they get to, maybe one day buy a place in Malaga or find a place in Brighton, because my brother's in London.
Nice.
Get their asses over here, shout out to my gran. I've got family in Israel, my family in Australia, my friends in Australia, and my friends in South Africa. And just sending you guys all peace, love, and happiness and health. And
Chutzpah.
I miss all of you guys, even though when you're moving away, you're not in contact.
Yeah.
So often. But when you are, it's amazing, and doesn't mean that I'm not thinking about you guys all the time. So,
Awesome.
yeah. It's been amazing, Jay.
Awesome.
I'm so happy with this.
Amazing,
Yes.
amazing. I also want to ask you guys to do me a favor when you get back together to each other in Lisbon tomorrow. Please find a world map,
Yeah.
one that is flat that you can stick up on your wall. Buy yourself some pins,
Yes.
and please pin everywhere you've gone so far. And find 3 colors. One color's Tyrone's, one color's yours, and one color's where you both have been. So if it's a country you've both visited, the one color that's for the both of you. If you've only visited it, then one you put your color. And I'd love to see on the world map how far you still have to go in order to conquer seeing the world.
Yeah. Still a few places on the list.
You better
for
do it
sure.
now before you guys have children, because once you have children, you have to root it down.
Who says?
Who says? Yeah, well, listen, you can homeschool them.
I'm a teacher, honestly.
Are you there still, Ty?
I'm
You
listening.
clocked
I'm
out.
listening.
Any last words from you, my brother?
Yeah. No, thanks for everything. Awesome. I just hope and pray everybody's doing all right back home. And thank God for our family. And yeah,
Wait.
it's a mad time in the world right now. It's a mad time in the world right now. And I just hope that people are just switched on. You know, they don't get the wool pulled over their eyes ever again. And yeah, that's it. God bless.
I just want to end on something funny but still heartfelt. Forgot to shout out to Noreen. She is my favorite person, my favorite human being ever. And yeah, she's my second mother.
Oh,
And
amazing.
I love her so much. So shout out to Noreen. Like, we don't understand how good we have it as kids. Like, when you move out of home, yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's crazy.
We were watching a
Hard
show now.
without her, for sure.
We were watching a show now, Below Deck Mediterranean, and there's a South African steward on the boat, and she's kind of saying in her interview, like, I don't know how to do laundry.
Literally.
Like, I literally don't know how to do
Don't know
laundry.
how
I've
to mop
never
the
had to do it.
floor.
I've never had to do it. I've had
Vacuum.
a domestic worker my whole life in South Africa.
Like, what even is ironing? Honestly, how do you even use an iron?
Oh my God, that's what she was stuck with.
You know, how do you
White privilege
even?
or what, eh?
Oh, I don't know, bro.
I don't think it's even being a rich kid. I just think it's growing up in South Africa. We were just so blessed. And then I never knew how messy I was until I went
To live on your
I
own.
left home, yeah. Because everything was being picked up after me. When I dropped it, it would be picked up straight away. So I
But shout out to all the domestic workers, because I can tell you they
I
are
love
part of the
them.
family.
literally.
It's really not a case of white privilege, but
100%.
more a case of helping out, giving job in creation. Really, it is. And a lot
No,
of the
listen,
times
they're
they become
angels.
our
They're angels.
sisters and
They're
brothers
living
from other
angels.
misters. Yeah.
Living angels.
Yeah.
I got a shout out to Granny then.
Yeah.
You know, she's been with me since 2008, and she's just like, she was also the caregiver to Merlin primarily
Yeah.
at the end, and really heart of gold, mother of 3, single woman, just cracking along and doing her thing, eh? Just making her work every day, despite everything.
Amazing.
So lekker.
Yep. Yep.
All right, my guys, I love you both so much, and I wish you the best and the happy travels and love and light between the two of you. Always keep God at the center of your heart and your marriage, and keep exploring. Keep exploring.
Yes.
We'll get back in
Will
touch
do.
with you.
Love you,
Thanks a lot.
Jay. Thanks so much.
Love you.
Pleasure. Love
Love you,
you. Bye.
Love you,
Bye.
Kapi.
Love you, Baba.
Yes, sports. Yes, sports.
How's that? Gee whiz. Now that's what I'm talking about. What? Can you see the absolute tenacity and spirit of South African people? I mean, not only did they both individually, like the phoenix, rise from the ashes, but they fell in love, got married, followed their heart's path, and are living out their passions in life. Plus, they're doing it together, exploring different cultures and places and people and lifestyles, and all the while still exuding the warmth and love of our Rainbow Nation. I absolutely love these two human beings, and they inspire me every day to keep shining the rainbow light. I'm so honored and grateful that they opened their wounded hearts to share their stories and to allow us to peek into a day in the life of this quirky couple. So thank you, Amy and Tyrone, and may life continue to shower you with miracles and blessings. And may your story fill the hearts of other South Africans who may have similar stories to find courage to keep rocking on. I mean, a country is just a piece of land in theory, but it's its people that color it with their hearts and souls. And so I encourage you to connect with us, to share your story and contribute a piece of your South African self into this global community, or potjiepot of South African schmaak. And remember, as Tyrone always tells me, comparison is the thief of joy, and that it's not about the destination, nor is it about the journey, but it's all about the company you keep in this lifetime. We are Yussus, South Africa's wildest, alive with possibilities.